Welcome everybody to some Heroes Land. As you can see, we're currently fishing. We're going to be going through some beginner tips. We're going to be going through some first area Bravetown bosses. We're going to deal with the Minotaur over at Chieftain Valley. We're going to deal with the Cyclops over at Giant Village. We're going to deal with the Sandworm at the Worm Valley, and we're going to deal with the Golem at Granite Cavern. We're going to teach you how to deal with each one of those today, kind of regardless of your abilities level. Well, obviously levels matter a little bit, but my suggestion is overnight, whenever you have a chance, let it chill. Fish. Just get yourself fishing. If you fish, you'll get a bunch of items. You can use those items to boost up your gear. Then you're going for angler rings. When you get those angler rings, you can equip the angler rings, which gives you more experience while you fish. That just starts compounding. Once you get to around level 80, you can go out and pretty much kill any monster. Once you get above 100, it gets a little bit easier. Then you can start amassing your purples. You can turn your purples into gold. Then you can start killing your bosses, which will net you your 6 stars. So we're gonna kind of just go show you the route that you can do. And honestly, these things spawn pretty quickly, so you can go back and forth between 2 of them. You can check out your bestiary. It shows all the bosses. There's plenty to go, so stick around if you want to learn all of them. Or we're gonna stick with these first ones. You get items every time you kill them a certain amount of times, up to 10. So that's kind of the goal you're looking for. Also, they have drops here. You should probably try to kill these first ones until you get every drop. It doesn't take all that long. Your items, if you die, you don't lose your items. You can stash your items and use them at a different time. I'll show you guys my stash. We've got all this stuff over here, extras just in case. And then we got, this is our current stuff. Actually, we can go into our bag. One thing you can do now is you can sell from anywhere, which you didn't used to be able to do that. So that's very nice. Anyway, let's get to boss killing, shall we? Let's start with the Minotaur. So the Minotaur is actually probably the hardest boss of this group, just simply because of these dummies right here. The cow homies that just kind of hang out with them. But the goal in pretty much all of these bosses is to stay mobile. You want to probably have a good range card. Obviously, if you have the Wind Force, it helps a lot. Wind Force, the ability, when you use the active ability, it lets you attack at a really quick attack, and it doesn't use any stamina, so you can really just get a ton of damage out. And every like 4th or 5th attack you see it's bigger, that is an AoE attack. Or not AoE, but it's piercing, right? So it can deal with the riffraff here and kill them all at once. Also, when you use your active ability, you're a little faster, which can help you survive and stay away from the different abilities. So this guy has a charge. You just want to stay at a distance. You can really use any range. And even if you only have a blue range, it might take a long time, but as long as you can just keep avoiding, you can deal with it. You can have a little heal, whatever. You just wait. Now you get your stamina back up. Wait for him. And as long as you're staying mobile, it's not too hard to deal with this guy. As you can tell, it's those guys that could really get you into trouble. But if you have something like this, it does not take long to just deal with them. Because like I said, that piercing shot is just brutal. Got to make sure if you leave the bosses alone, they'll actually heal up some health, so you got to make sure you keep your damage on it. I guess he's not necessarily hard because he only has 1 health bar. Some of these other guys have 10 health bars. But I just think those extra units can just cause a problem, and especially if you're solo. I'm judging most of the difficulty here by the fact that I will be solo on this. Or that the idea is that these are doable solo, right? I will say, this weapon does chunk pretty hard. I like it. Keep it going. All right, now we get stamina, but we can use our ability, and it doesn't matter how much stamina we have. Then we just go bop, 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 bop. All right, so 1 down. We got another set of the Lightbringers. I do actually have a full set of the Lightbringers. That's kind of the set that you can get from this area. avoid everybody. If you have a mount, just mount through it. Otherwise, you'll have to run through it. Should be no problems. If you're having issues, you can use these and you can boost away from. So if somebody big like that is chasing you, you can just use these to boost out of there. Remember that once you place them though, you might have to come back to them, but that'll help you. Those will always be there, right? So those will help you next time you're going from that path. So if you're taking the path along, you're gonna be able to get those back. So next is the Cyclops. Now the Cyclops, I would say, is arguably the easiest foe to deal with. It's a very similar setup as the other one. You just have to avoid a charge and a range attack. I would say the range attack is maybe a slightly harder to defend, but as you can tell, it is not difficult by any means. Just gotta stay out of his range. About here, like just kind of the max range of your arrows is where you want to be. Now, if you're different weapons and all you have is melee weapons, honestly, you're just gonna have to kill some of the normal guys until you get something that you can use. Even if it's the purple fire arrow, that would be fine. The purple poison arrow would be fine. I like the purple boomerang. Let me put that on real quick. I think I have it. Yeah, I like the purple boomerang a lot. Because this one's ability is pretty cool. You go ba ba ba, and it can just do really good damage to people. And then it's got that throw, and then it comes back, right? So you can see it's actually pretty good damage for a purple. Don't hate it at all. You have to be a little bit closer, but as you can tell, in this game, it's more about skill necessarily than your ability, like your stats. If you're playing it right, at least these first bosses, you shouldn't be taking very many hits. If you're having trouble, you should try to increase your speed if you can. Your speed's gonna go up with different items, leveling up. And if you're having trouble, you could add more health, but having more health means you're probably gonna have less attack. So you kind of have to decide, how much do I trust that I'm not gonna get hit by stuff, and how much do I trust, my ability to dodge stuff, whatever. So like your speed has to be a certain amount. Maybe your HP has to be a little higher, because if we look, my speed is 800 right now. So if you're not quite at 800, maybe you could be lower and still do fine. It kind of depends on what items you have, but the name of the game is avoiding the damage for the most part. Now, there will be some places where you can't avoid the damage, and that will result in, needing some sort of heal. That's why I have this right now. We get like a 1,500 heal there, which is pretty decent. Let's fight this guy. This guy can be actually tricky, because he will throw that at you. So you just have to dodge that. And if it hits you, it stuns you. So that can be tricky, because he could stun it. You want to try to really fight him alone, because if you don't fight him alone, then he could damage him. Now he spawns little, whoa! See, if there's a bunch of people around you, they could light you up right there. But he spawns little flower guys, and those little flower guys heal him. So you have to take out those little flower guys. Let's get on our mount, which will heal us. Then we have a little bit of a speed boost. All right, we have the sandworm. So his attacks are that, where he'll dive to you. So you want to be fast enough and quick enough where you can avoid that. And then he'll do a AoE around him, but it's only a certain distance around him. So you can kind of stay distance away from him and not worry about it. So we have somebody else killing bosses, you see that? So you can kind of sit here and wait. He'll jump to you. He only does it once ever, so you don't have to worry about that. But you just got to make sure you're fast enough to get out of there. So whether that's 800, 700, 600, whatever it actually is, if you have a quicker reaction speed than most people, you could be a quick lower speed. But also you could save your abilities that make you faster until you need to be faster, right? So that could help you too, right? Because right there I had a speed boost from my ability, which helped me out. Also, you could utilize this middle thing to help restore your HP if you need to. So this guy actually might be one of the easier ones to beat, just because this thing could help heal you, could help make you faster. And if you really need to maybe avoid him, maybe you take a bunch of damage, it's not hard to, maybe cycle here, throw a thing at him every once in a while so he doesn't heal. But then, you can get back to this, cycle through, heal this. I would say if you can, get this purple purple heal. There's probably a legendary thing that's similar to it, but this purple one seems pretty easy to get because I've got a few copies of it, and it heals you 15% of your max HP, and it's basically free because it's just on cooldown. So that can be very good. All right, so we have the last boss of the area here, which I would consider probably the hardest just because at certain times its damage can't be avoided. Actually, I realized I don't have my farms going. Farms get you more XP. Your rank is based on like your highest 10 scores. All right. So that fire can be impossible to avoid. So you see how I'm healing? That's that boost we were looking at earlier. So that fire can potentially be impossible to avoid. So you have to just be careful for that. But it doesn't go forever, right? So this isn't terrible, but you have to just kind of be wary of that ability. And then he will come running at you and it stuns you. So that can be scary. But it's not too hard to avoid any of his stuff. You just have to get far enough away because the fire, you see the fire does stop eventually. So you come back, blast him some more. Whoa. And there's usually a spot where you can get through it though, even if you are close to him. So that can be dangerous, but as you can see, not too bad. Whoa. And we take him out. Take him out. Take him out. He's not like coming backwards. My thing's not, it's just my thing was going straight and then like not coming backwards. Oh, there we got the elixir, just like I was telling you. All right, so now that we kind of dealt with these guys, well, now you can do one of two things. You could head back to the Worm Valley because it's probably already spawned, and then go back to here, and then go back to here. Then from here, head back to here. It's probably already spawned. Go back to here, back to here. If there's somebody else killing them, honestly, sometimes I suggest just going back and forth. So you could go back and forth between these two, go back and forth between these two, these two, whatever, and just kind of do it until you either get all the drops that you want. And like I said, look at the bestiary. You'll see I've killed the Cyclops 10 times now, and I think the only thing I'm missing is I don't have the Traveler's Boots. So the Cyclops I would want to keep killing to try to get those Traveler's Boots, because you do get pretty much the full Lightbringer outfit. Even if you get unlucky drops, you get the full Lightbringer outfit if you just kill everything. If you kill all these bosses 5 times, right? So you'll get the full Lightbringer setup, which should put you in good shape to be able to deal with the Tiamat. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much. If you enjoy the Hero Land content, make sure you follow me on Twitch to catch it live. And if you're enjoying it on YouTube, make sure you leave a comment, like the video, get more Hero Land players out here, especially English players. There's not many English players. It's an incredibly big amount of people that play this game if you look at the daily Steam players, but honestly a lot of them are in the Asian servers. The European servers are pretty good too. But also check this out, we have Legion, we have Survival, we got Guardian, we got Hero Party, we got Custom Trials, we got all sorts of stuff that we're going to be checking out, but we'll be doing that later. I appreciate you guys checking out this beginner's tutorial on Bravetown and the first bosses that you'll encounter in Heroes Land. Make sure you stop by for the next one, and we'll see you. Bye-bye.